Yeah, I would like to give a lecture. The lecture is on Hegel, specifically Hegel's philosophy of history. I am not aware of who I am. I am very alone. Perhaps to speak is to understand a language, but perhaps to speak is enough. That is what Hegel means. Hegel means that if I was to tell you who I was, it would be important, but not exactly what I mean. Because what I mean is I cannot tell you who I am. And that is because who I am has something to do, finally, with who I was. And that I don't remember. If I remembered who I was, I would tell you. And that is only in love. Only in love can I tell you who I was, or who I am. It seems like we should be direct. Who are you? I am your lover. But I understand that this directness, this interest in being direct, is finally a logic unto itself. As I say, unto you, into me. Poetry is finally the organon of Hegel's science of logic. It has something to do with being able to explain to a person that I am who I am, we are who we are, after all. It is to tell a person that there is a poem in Hegel. The poem begins with non-knowledge or inconsistency. It proceeds to directness, and there is finally only the truth that you see that I am your lover, and then I come alive. I come alive. I say that I know who I am. Perhaps I am the man you knew. Perhaps I am him. No more hesitations. I am in love. When I am in love with you, I understand its logic. The logic is finally certainty. Sense certainty for some. For me it is pure belief. Concept. It is a concept that we are in love. It is what I say to you eventually. It is also a long destination that we share. It is finally a subjective destination. It is finally subjective destitution. It is finally subjective certainty. It is finally certainty itself. Beyond sense certainty, beyond understanding, beyond reason, there is certainty itself. And that is that I am your lover. It is that I speak a language which I understand. I say things directly. Who are you, after all? I am your lover. Perhaps I am. Perhaps you are. It's not the question. I am, you are. That is what I say. I speak things about the endless nights we spent together, walking, talking, drifting along a road, along a line. We had a shared life, we had shared ways. We had our lives which we spent endlessly progressing, talking about the moon, talking about the stars, talking about infinity, the crescent moon. I then fell in love, and it was long. It was lasting. The encounter was lasting. The encounter began, and in 3 takes here, we kept becoming more in love. This Hegel that I present to you, that begins with uncertainty, begins with non-knowledge, begins with emptiness, and proceeds further and further into the destiny of emptiness, that is its encounter with the other, who is actually a person I know. What is this logic? What is this logic from uncertainty to finally sense certainty, to finally senselessness, to finally directness and recalling who I was? What would I call this logic? What would I say it means? This path from uncertainty to certainty. This path from uncertainty to developments that are like the science of logic itself, carved out of my naivety that you sensed, my sense that you respected. the respect that we both shared, the bond that we both had, the encounter that we both encountered in each other's eyes. What is this lecture finally about? I would say it's about three things. First, to not know. Second, to know. Third, to be direct. Fourth, to be speculative. It has something to do with speculative certainty, a higher coincidence of opposites than I could realize. It has something to do finally with knowing a person, as if you could stare at her in the night by your side, and that finally is not a contradiction. It is finally to move into contradictions that are disagreements, fights, but also love, semblances of one's beard that I have shaved, which I have not as yet. It has something to do finally with a logic that finally takes us beyond measure into the logic of sense. The logic of sense is listening to music together. It's electric. Sabracadabra. Astronomy by Metallica. It is finally a logical sense. What do we say? What do we do? What do we live? How do we live? Where do we go? Where is all this going? Where do we die? Do we die? I don't think we die. We can't die because the die is finally a barn in metaphysics. I will not die. She will not die. We will not die. We live forever. I say this because finally metaphysics comes alive when our bodies are electric. As I would say, I've grown my hair. As I would say, I've grown my beard. As I would say, we've talked a long time. As I would say, we know each other well. Logic is beyond belief. Logic is logical certainty. Logical certainty is a diremption of negativity. It is all positive. It is all planes of imminence. It is all you come here, okay? And I would say finally, there is a logic more profound than what you call experience. Because experience is a vanishing act into logic that is so certain, so perfect, so precise that it is your body and sex. But there is also love that continues, and that is Hegel. Hegel is finally a story of how to come alive after death. Hegel is finally a story of how to move from naive reflections to contradictions and then finally necessity. Necessity that overhauls everything into ideality and idealism. Hegel is finally the story of idealism itself. Reflect on these words endlessly. Passages that you remember, fragments that you keep, and you will understand the whole science of it. That is all I have to say.